Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a sweeping reconstitution of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (Nnpc) Limited Board, has sacked the Group Chief Executive Officer (GCEO) Mallam Mele Kyari and the Board Chairman Chief Pius Akinyelure. President Tinubu also removed all other board members appointed with Akinyelure and Kyari in November of 2023. President Tinubu, invoking the power granted under Section 59, Subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021, emphasized that the board's restructuring is crucial for enhancing operational efficiency, restoring investor confidence, boosting local content, driving economic growth, and advancing gas commercialization and diversification. This is a spotlight where we, of course, discuss trendy but topical issues happening in Nigeria and across the globe. I have with me Barrister Evans Ofedi. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being here.
Very well, it's my pleasure.
Now, this is a long-awaited news that we have just seen right now. Mele Kyari, for so many years now, Nigerians had expected that he would be let go. What do you think about his leaving?
Yeah, if you look at the operation of the Nnpc, is a reflection of Mele Kyari's administration in the past few years, and we've seen the ineptitude of Nnpc. First, from battling with Dangote on pricing. You know, they held Dangote refinery to hostage while the refinery was trying to unearth the secrecy behind pricing of petroleum products, which is a mainstay in the Nigerian economy. So Mele Kyari have been working against the progress of Nigeria for as long as we can remember. The action of Nnpc alone with Dangote just one among many other things. And we have seen that his loyalty is not to the people, but his loyalty is to the cabal and cartel that are responsible for strangling the Nigerian economy. So it is in the interest of Bola Tinubu, who wants to make a $1 trillion economy, to remove whoever is standing as a clog in the wheel of progress. Those who have constituted themselves as saboteurs, economic saboteurs, must all be let go. Not only him. I mean, that is why, if you look at it, those who were appointed into the board by Mele Kyari and the chairman, okay, that's the CEO now and the chairman, were also removed by that Section 59, Subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act. So 2001. So this is revolutionary for me because there's a need to shake up these people. You know, I mean, this is even coming late in the day. It should have been done before the completion of Dangote refinery. Maybe the price of the PMS may not be what it is today.
Yes.
They really fought against. They were fighting as if the monopoly was. They were fighting with the Dangote refinery to retain a monopoly that should not exist. So at the end of the day, we saw the dispute between both, which is even unresolved until now. But the masses had to bear the brunt of that.
Now, we speak as if Mele Kyari is operating on his own. The parastatal he is heading is under the purview of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the substantive minister of petroleum. Now, do you think that Mele Kyari is acting without the knowledge of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or have we seen a Mele Kyari who has been thrown under the bus by the same person, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
First, you need to understand that Mele Kyari's operation, okay, outdates Tinubu's emergence.
And didn't in any way work in simpatico with
maybe,
President
yeah,
Bola
he did,
Yes.
he did. But maybe he's now seeing the true issue. Maybe he's now seeing clearer now as to why he should be let go. Maybe because the reason given is to boost and increase investors' confidence, okay, and driving the projections and all that for the purposes of development in that area, okay. So investors' confidence is critical. It's a critical thing. Mele Kyari had talked about reform, and he was talking about how he's going to work on the pipelines and increase some other issues, which then we analyzed and said that, are you just waking up now to know that the pipelines are not efficient? Or why has the Nnpc been run this way? Why do you have secrecy everywhere? Why is it that Nnpc is not transparent? The corruption there is endemic. Okay, so many things, and all attributed to him as a substantive CEO then. Remember, Nnpc used to be a corporation, okay, before the 2001 Act that made it a private company, a company limited, liability limited company. Now, from that transition, the transition did not witness his removal, because he maintained his position while the transition took place. So this is the first time we're going to have a new lease of crop of persons who will manage the Nnpc as it were now. Okay, and these ones should be able to get the directive. If you are going to build a $1 trillion economy, this one should be able to have a directive that will give the Nnpcl a new lease of life. One, it should be a company that will be targeted against reducing the suffering of the people in terms of reducing pricing, make the product availability, okay, and to ensure that that sector is really well managed with its external factors, because there are a lot of external factors. Nupeng, what are the names again? Nupeng and the other one, the one that is called DPR,
yes,
that used to be now this thing, and you need something very formidable to manage the downstream and upstream sector of that, and that is exactly what is going on. That shake-up is necessary, and not only in that ministry, there are other ministries in this country that need such shake-up, like the NPA. Okay, some shake-up because of the corruption there also, and because it's a high revenue generating agency for the federal government.
Yeah,
so there's a need to look at all those very strategic areas and get their board and CEOs and chairmen changed with a new policy, with a new vision to make a difference. It is important to do that.
Well, it's important that we do that. It's only when one gets into the portfolio that he better understands, you know, the crux of the matter and how he would go around solving it. As at the time, our oil production level was below 1.5 million barrels per day as a result of oil theft. Tantita was involved in the whole deal.
Yeah.
At the time, President Bola Tinubu was still not the president of the country, but of course, Mele Kyari was amongst the people who brokered that deal and allowed it to happen. Now that he is off the circle, what do you think? Would you want to believe that Tantita would remain? Then, do you see our barrels per day increasing with the new officers and sheriffs in town?
It's not Mele Kyari that brought in Tantita.
Yeah, but he was part of the people who brokered the deal. Yes, I remember very well.
He was part of them because first, those who you now refer to as Tantita used to be militants,
yes,
who were attacking the pipelines themselves. So they know the terrain. That is the rationale behind it. You know, they know the terrain. I mean, this thing started from Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan was the first person who employed those who used to be the saboteurs of the petroleum product to now safeguard it. That's like using the enemy to wage war against a bigger enemy, or a proposed enemy to wage war against a bigger enemy. And it was Tantita that unearthed the Navy's involvement in corruption. Then Asari Dokubo came to the State House. You remember then?
Yes.
When Tinubu became the president, came to the State House, and Tinubu allowed him to go and make a public declaration that the Navy is the one that's in cahoot with some foreign bodies.
Tompolo.
No, not Tompolo.
So Tompolo is the owner of the Tantita.
Tompolo is the owner of Tantita, yes. But Asare Dokubo,
okay,
not too long ago, when he visited the president, we discussed it in our former station.
Yes, very true.
When he visited the current president, and the current president when he told the current president that the Navy is involved, the current president asked him to go and make a declaration. And in the State House, they called a press conference and did it. You should be aware.
Yes.
Not too long ago.
Yes, very true.
Not
Yes.
1 year.
Yes,
yes,
very true.
That's what I'm saying. So now the Navy was fingered, foreign bodies were fingered. I mean, and, a pipeline was also discovered through which they were channeling the product away then in Escravos. So the Nnpc have not managed the oil resources proper. First, just look at the poverty, even in the Niger Delta, and the poverty, the scale for a country that have oil. If you look at a country that's an OPEC member, number 6, if you look at a country that have oil, Qatar, I just passed through Qatar 2 days ago. Those countries, their citizens don't work. If you go to Qatar airport, you cannot find a citizen working. They get people from outside to manage their affairs. They have no business working. They have so much resources. So they get people from other countries to expats everywhere to run their affairs. That's how Nigeria should be. Nothing stops Nigeria from being like that. Okay? But because Nnpc have failed to manage these resources, the boom we had from Obasanjo's time down to, not even Obasanjo, from the military governor, military head of state, go on, when he said that Nigeria has so much money that they don't know what to do with it. You know? So, we've had this boom, but when you look at the level of poverty, there's no country in the world that have oil, that have lack of electricity supply running at the same time. They are both energy. It's the product you use to generate power. And then you have it, you are lacking in power. So Nnpc have done a great disservice to not just Kyari, but successive, his predecessors.
Yes.
His predecessors have also contributed in a large way. Nnpc have been a very corrupt institution. You understand? And the fruit of that corruption is the poverty we're seeing. So if the president have now deemed it fit, because for the little we know in the past 2 years, I mean, the way Nnpc has gone about frustrating Dangote refinery, that one is so fresh.
Yeah, because the Naira to dollar, buyback deal for crude oil is still a very big problem.
Yeah, the exchange rate is a problem,
Yes.
which is self-inflicted. Then the outright sabotage is what I'm talking about. Where, you remember when he said that when Dangote claimed that, when the NPC claimed that they sold to Dangote in a particular price for the crude. And then Dangote came out and said, no, that was not what, you remember, not
Yes.
too long ago,
Yes.
that was not what they sold it for. And so you have that battle of supremacy that was unnecessary, that was not needed. You understand? Coupled with other things the president may have seen that we don't know about, that he's privy to, that we're not privy to. But all I know is that the NPC have not done well over the years. And so there's a need to change. I mean, I know when Gaius Obaseki used to be the NPC director. Then from there to, there's two other persons before Mele Kyari. You understand? I know when all that was Obasanjo's era and all that. So the NPC should have been the company or the corporation that would have made it easy for the average Nigerian to come out of poverty, okay, to access education, access healthcare, access so many things on scholarship. But I mean, even when they have a scholarship scheme, you can't access it. Employment scheme. I remember that time when we came out from school newly, and then we went to Excellence Hotel to write the test for Nnpc, so that we can go and become big men. So when we got there, it was glaring that they've already done this interview a long time ago.
So
they picked everybody a long time ago. They gave us serious exams, serious aptitude tests to write. By the time you write it, you will not see, today you will not see the results. You just came to do an exercise. They were scaling people then. Which school are you from? Which school are you from? Which school are you from? You call some name of school that they don't know about, they'll say, get out, get out, get out. You know, so we did all that, but the people who got the employment never came for that test.
Now, speaking about the meritocracy, there's one question every Nigerian would expect that someone would give right answers to. We're people of sentiments. We're very ethno-centric in the ways that we talk about lots of things. And now he has replaced Mele Kyari from the northern part of Nigeria and replaced it with his kinsman, like Nigerians would say. Why the choice of yet another kinsman, knowing already his circle is totally surrounded by his own people? Don't you think that's a disservice to Nigeria?
Where is a disservice, you are right. Because even though that tribe may not be a factor, but when people are sent to certain offices, look at Buhari. This is not to justify what Tinubu is doing. I mean, I don't justify ethnic issues like that. But Buhari did even worse than that. You know, Buhari's when his kitchen cabinet was complete, no outsider. Even the larger ministerial position, complete and all that. Even when you have nominations, some nominations didn't go through. He puts agencies and departments of government, that's parastatals, you know. Now Tinubu is doing exactly the same thing. He's using, but when a minority ascends position, they don't plug in people. Look at Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan, exactly.
Jonathan came by providence, and then when he wasn't, how many people from Bayelsa were having anything to do? He picked, you know, professionals. Okay, like Obasanjo did. Because Obasanjo is also one person.
Yes, exactly.
Who didn't, and he was not liked because of that. He was hated because of it. Was detribalized. Because though he's Yoruba, but he's been out for so long. Kaduna, North, different places. So he's detribalized. And he didn't bother on tribe. But Tinubu is a different person entirely. Okay. He may have picked him for competence. He may have picked him just for ethnic reasons. He may have picked him for any other reason. You understand? The law says that he can appoint, he should appoint and all that. So now he's picking somebody from the Yoruba extraction. You know, if I were Tinubu, well, this might be controversial, because you mean I'm playing ethnic card again, but I would have picked somebody from the southeast.
Or the south at least.
Or the south. No, the southeast really, because the agitation coming from there is something, you should have done something in that direction.
Just to downs that.
Yes, I've done something in that direction. If he has the vice or the fortitude to assuage some of the discordance that is coming from that end. But he's done what he's done already. So, I mean, let's go back and look at the profile of the person.
Exactly.
And then see what qualify him for that position.